All right, 16, 17, and 18, I'm going to graph the circle given its general form. Standard form for a circle looks like this. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, with the hk being the center and the r being the radius. So we want to get this equation into this form by completing the square. I'm going to start by grouping my x's together, my y's together, my numbers on the other side. So I'm going to write it like this. X squared plus 6x, leaving a spot, plus y squared plus 2y, leaving a spot, equals, when I move this to the other side, it's going to become negative 1. Now what I'm going to do is complete the square on my x's and my y's so that I can factor it into a perfect square. To complete the square, I take half the middle coefficient and square it. So half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. I'm going to add 9 here, which means I also have to add 9 on the other side of my equation. Doing it with my y's, half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So I'm going to add 1 here. I'm going to add 1 here. What happens when I factor this is I'd have x and x, plus and plus. Factors of 9 that add up to 6 is that 3 and that 3. That was half of my middle term. So I get x plus 3 squared. Same thing here. If I factored this, I get y and y, a plus and a plus. Factors of 1 that add up to 2, 1 and 1. Again, that's that half that middle term. So y plus 1 squared. Over here doing my adding and subtracting, well, the negative 1 and the positive 1 will cancel out, so I'm just going to get the 9. 9 we can rewrite as 3 squared, right? So the center of this circle, since I have a minus h and a minus k, actually end up being the opposites. It'd be like if I took x plus 3 equals 0, I get minus 3. So the x value of my center is at negative 3. The y value of my center is at negative 1. My radius is 3, square root of 9, or 3 squared if I have it in standard form. And so now I can plot this. There is a circle tool. You're going to click on the center, move over 3 spaces in any direction. It's going to draw the circle around the center. So first I'm going to go to negative 3, negative 1, click. It's going to mark the center. Then I'm going to move over 1, 2, 3 places, click again, and the circle's actually going to open up 3 places in every direction. I'm going to sketch them in there so my circle looks a little more like a circle, and so my graph is going to look something sort of like that. But click on the center, move 3 places over, the whole circle will expand, click again, and set your circle. So number 17, if I'm going to do that circle, again I want it in standard form, so x squared minus 8x plus y squared plus 4y equals, that's going to move to the other side, so negative 11. I'm then going to complete my square. Half of negative 8 is negative 4. A negative 4 squared is a positive 16. When I square something, it's always going to end up being a positive, so I'm always going to add something. On my y's, half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So when I factor this one, half of negative 8 was negative 4. It's going to factor into x minus 4 times x minus 4 if you need to do it the long way, but x minus 4 squared. Here, half of 4 was 2. That's going to factor into y plus 2 times y plus 2. 20 minus 11 would give us 9, or that 3 squared again. So this time my center is going to be at positive 4, negative 2. My radius is 3. So 4, negative 2 is my center. 1, 2, 3 places over opens my circle in 3 places in all directions, and my circle looks something sort of like that. Number 18 then, same kind of thing. I have x squared minus 6x plus y squared minus 2y, and they've already moved the negative 1 to the other side. So I'm now going to do my completing the square. Half of negative 6 would be negative 3. Negative 3 squared is 9. Half of negative 2 is negative 1, and negative 1 squared is 1. So I'm going to have x minus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals, and we must have liked to get 9 today. So again, this is half of my middle term, or factor it out the long way. My center in this case is going to be at positive 3 and positive 1. My radius again happens to be 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3 for my radius. And my circle would look something sort of like that.